Hi there, welcome to the channel. For today, what we're going to be looking at is the high performance planner. So instead of doing a review, I thought it would be fun if we could actually allow ourselves to implement some new ideas. Really have fun with it, okay? And whether you like one idea or many, it's really all about how can these ideas help and serve you to be more productive and bring the joy. So Brendan, who created this planner, always says bring the joy. So this time we're going to try and bring some of it into the planner. And we're going to do this 3 ways. So first is level 1, okay? Really bare basics. I'll show you that. And then we're going to go into level 2, which is like motivation and manifestation. And then we're going to go level 3, which is in productivity mastery. It's habit building and advanced planning, and that includes habits. And if we have time, I was thinking of letting you guys know what is coming up in future videos, and possibly sharing with you one of the days, the first day that I actually had this planner, and to show you what the power of the prompts are. Okay, so if you're ready, let's just put all these to the side and let's get started. Hooray. Okay, so this is a 60-day undated. So you can buy them now or keep them for later use. There are 4 really wonderful things about this planner. The first thing happens to be morning and evening prompts. Now, throughout the entire planner, they're the same prompts. So ideally, it would have been great if they ever do a pro version of this planner, that they would change. 1 month do these, and then the following month do a different set, just so that it really helps with the flow of using the same planner throughout the year, okay? The other thing that they do really well is at the beginning, before you do anything, right? You get into it, it's the introduction, and then it goes into whole life assessment. So these are 10 areas of your life where you get to rate yourself between 1 being low and 10 being awesome. And this is really a very nice nuance of your life, okay? It's not something to stress about, but it is something for you to have an overall self-reflection, especially if you don't know what's going wrong with your life. You're really unsure. You're not happy, but you're not happy. So this lets you know which areas of your life are really, for me, 10 is in learning, but in my health, it's a 5. So this helps me see where, where I don't need to improve, and maybe what can bring me from a 5 to a 6, right? So we're not aiming for 10s. We're just aiming to improve it by 1, okay? And then directly across from it are the high performance habits assessment. So these are 6 pillars in high performance, which is seeking clarity, generating energy, raising necessity, increasing your productivity, developing influence, and demonstrating courage. And we can tell right now, from my evaluation of myself, here I'm at a 76, so this was last May. And then when I took the overall total and divided by 6, it came out to 72. So you can tell that they're really not far apart. So what this also indicates is there's a direct correlation between how I feel in my life and the habits that are supporting those things in my life, So if I were to improve, let's say just by 1%, my clarity, my energy, my necessity, my productivity, my influence, my courage, you could kind of put the correlation of that would increase. My life assessment would increase maybe to a 78, maybe to an 80, all depending on the efforts I put towards my habits. And before you say, oh, Corinne, I hate habits. I'm free flowing. The fact of the matter is we all have habits. Just some of them happen to be bad, right? So like a bad habit would be as soon as you wake up, you grab your phone, right? So when you do that, you're going to be instantly distracted and not being present and intentional with your day. You're not starting your day in gratitude. And more than that, you can end up being on there for quite a while and be sucked into the news, and then that affects your energy for the day. So, and then something that's like a good habit is at the end of the day, you go brush your teeth, wash up before getting into bed. So everybody actually has habits. It's just about improving your habits in each of these areas. Okay? So this does it really well. And they do it for right at the beginning. So you have a benchmark. And then they do it again. So these are your daily pages, which gives you a lot of space. Hold on. And then every week, at the end of your week, so you get 7 of these. And then at the end of the week, you have your weekly learning review. Okay, asks you questions. And again, in the 10 areas, you can rate yourself 1 to 5 and just put what actually worked that week towards these goals. Now, you don't have to work towards them, but maybe if one of your things was health, like mine, maybe I would put here, what goal did I have? What worked this week and what could I have done better? Okay, it doesn't mean that I have to fill it all in, but maybe just on the one thing that I really wanted to work on, we could do that, right? Then we have the weekly review, high performance habits. So again, the clarity, energy, necessity, productivity, influence, courage. And then you would circle how you are doing that week. So, I guess here, for me, it's like I was intentional in how I acted this week. Like here underneath here, it says today. So it makes sense here for me, total sense, when you're doing it at the beginning, right? As you're opening the planner and you're doing this for the first time, it makes sense to be, I was intentional in how I acted today. But when it comes to the weekly review, I've just filled out 7 days, which brings me to Sunday, and I've already filled it out. So for me to come here and go, I was intentional in how I acted today, it doesn't make sense for me because it's a weekly review. So I just changed up some of the words and scratched out the word today because that's just the way I roll. You don't have to do that. Maybe those things don't bother you. For me, it does. But again, very valuable. What else? Another thing they do well is your monthly reflection. So at the end of the month, there are some more questions that gets asked. And then we go back into a whole life assessment. So the difference is during the week is just a 1 to 5. It's just a quick little bubble of how your week went. Okay. And again, you could just do 1 or 2. You don't have to do them all. But then when it's time for your monthly review, you fill it out and you can also compare it back to when you started your planner. Okay. And it's not about stressing out. It's not about, oh, you have to do better. It's just all about self-awareness. Okay? And as you're doing this over time and you're increasing any of these areas by like 1 little percent, by 1 little habit, that's what we're concentrating on, right? We're concentrating over progress, over perfection. Yes? Okay. What else do they do well? Okay, so life assessment, weekly assessment, monthly review, and of course the prompts. Yeah, I think that's it. I think then they have a month ahead at a glance, although they have 2 of them, but your first one happens to be in the middle of the planner instead of at the beginning of the planner. Okay, right here. So right after the whole life assessment, instead of the marketing, it would have been great if they had added another month ahead at a glance here. It's called month ahead, not month behind. Haha, see what I did there? And it would have been great for it to be here right before you go into your dailies. Okay, so after the assessment, but before your dailies. Wonderful. Okay, so let's get into the changes. Okay, let's remove this. So let's have a little fun. So level 1, just like we just said. Okay, so level 1 would be a suggestion to add a yearly calendar. Why? So you can print it up. It is at calendar-12.com. You can get this with green, pink, blue. And the reason for that is for us to have easy access to dates that doesn't require grabbing our phone, okay? Essentially what we're doing is removing distractions from texts and notifications on our screens. When you go onto your computer, you get notifications, maybe your group thing from work, maybe your emails. Same thing with your phone. You get texts, you get notifications, you get your TikToks, and it distracts you from what you actually are doing, which is being intentional. So the first thing we would do is add a 2025 calendar. That way, when you're searching for dates, it's easy to just come back here. If you get a call, you don't need to go, you don't need to scroll your phone to find the calendar app or go on your computer. You can just be like, oh yeah, sure. Like in May, what date? Next, what you can do is, so right before your, so right after the whole life assessments, either you can print, like, so let's say we're going into April, then you can print a calendar of April, so that you still have some areas to jot down appointments, birthdays, any of that stuff, any important dates. Or you can, photocopy the one that's in here and pop it there. Yes, it's ugly, but it really does serve you to have that extra month, because if you have this for your beginning of your month, you can keep the middle one for the upcoming month, and the last one, hold on, yeah. And then this last one could be for the future month before you move into your next planner, right? Because during those 2 months, you're not concentrating on those 2 months. Maybe you're going to be figuring out, you're already planning your month ahead in the month before, like the month before, correct? You're not waiting until the first of the new month to plan out your month. Usually you go into like a week before and plan out your month, or you've been up to 2 weeks before. But if somebody's asking you, hey, Cor, next month, are you available on this date? Then I can just come in here and just put, right? And just be able to have like a quick overview, because these are planners that are just for 2 months. They're 60 days. And the reason for that is, since it's a daily, it's already quite thick, right? So if we're looking at, a bullet journal, or a notebook, well, notebook is quite thin, or like this is my legend planner. This is the one I use. It's like a great work-life balance planner. It is thicker, but it is a weekly versus like it's an hourly, whereas this is a daily. So for them to do this for 3 months or 6 months, it would be too thick. Alrighty, so let's go step 2, right? So, okay, great. So we've got the calendar. You can, again, if this doesn't bother you, don't worry about it. Then let's move on to level 2. Level 2 is motivation and manifestation. So this is all about, here we go. Right, so it goes into a vision board. Oh, this must be crooked. Here we go. Okay, so level 2, it's colorful. It taps into your why. Okay, why are you doing the things that you do. What are you trying to attract? This is like, for me, this is my personal life. This is my mission, which is my work, my career. And at the beginning, it's okay if you don't have it all full, but you can start with one picture at a time. Okay, and that's just taking free pictures off of the internet and then starting to just put it in Word and size them up. Okay, and then you can cut them eventually and just make your own collage. Okay, hold on. Let me show you. So in my planner, right? So it's like this. Okay, so my original, as you can see, right? And the reason for that is so that I can take off and I can add as we go. A vision board is something that you would like to create in your life or attract within the next, let's say, 3 years. Okay, so these are just photocopies here. And then over here is mission. So if you can see, let me see if I can bring it up a little closer. So today is my first video, my first long form video. So this is me wanting to manifest becoming a YouTuber. This is me scripting. This is one-on-one coaching. This is me coaching a VIP group. So I'm not here yet. I do coach one-on-one, but I'm hoping by the end of 2025 to be able to do small VIP groups of 4 to 6 people, kind of create a pod, like a Jedi Council. This is doing a webinar. This is me giving the gift of transformation because I believe in transformation over information. Maybe being a guest speaker. So this is my 3-year plan. I would love to be a guest speaker on either Tony and Dean's stage, Brendan Burchard's stage, Ali Abdal, Women's Federation, and then recently, so this is why my other one is still in pieces, is I'm gonna add to it Go Wild. I just found out about Go Wild through Planner Pals, which is Mark from Mark Your Pages and Jess from Jashi Corinne. And they are going to be at Go Wild this year. I think they're going to be presenting or something like that. So I thought, that would be so cool. How cool it would be for 1 year for me to be a guest speaker and talk about productivity in different people's planners, correct? So, and that's what you do. You just keep adding pictures as you go. So don't worry about starting small. You'll just add to it as you go. And if you have something like this, right? Like if we take it one step further, like imagine opening your planner and the first thing you see is your vision. Your brain is going to start looking for opportunities, right? It knows it's going to get instantly connecting to a different motivational part within you that says, this is why I'm doing it. Even if you don't actively look at your pages every day, your brain notices things that you yourself don't notice. Another thing you can do is here, let me bring it a little closer, is self-care bingo. So this is also bringing the joy, right? So I have things on here like no social media day, get cuddles or a hug, journal your feelings and release the day, sing out loud, dance like no one's watching, a picnic, a potluck with friends, concert or movie, let someone do something nice for you, right? How many of us do things for other people, but when somebody wants to do something nice for you, you're like, oh, no, thanks. Well, this is about accepting. So it's like the next time somebody wants to do something nice for you, you just go, yes, that would be lovely. Thank you. Thank you for thinking about that. I appreciate it. Then maybe trying to find something to color or a puzzle or a Lego. Listen to a podcast, visit a library or bookstore. I'm a big library nerd and I love sitting in bookstores. Make a list of things that make you happy. Do you have a list that makes you happy? Like, do you have a list? If you don't have a list, then how are you aware? how are you creating situations in your life to have more happiness, right? Because if you don't know what to look for, you don't know what to create, you don't know what to put in your planner, right? So that happiness then becomes random instead of you creating moments of happiness. Yes? Watch your favorite comedian. Bake or eat a dessert. I mean, I'm a sugar fiend. I will be really sad the day that I have to like reduce my sugar, but it's coming. Favorite tea, coffee, smoothie, or drink. Try a new recipe. Walk, jog, yoga, swim, fence. I would love to start either fencing or I think it's kendo, where it's like, it's with a stick, you know, kind of like Walking Dead. Try something you've never tried before. Do absolutely nothing weekend. This is my very, very favorite. When I notice on my calendar, I'm having like a very busy week, this is the first thing that I do. I call a do absolutely nothing weekend. I text my fam and say, hey, I'm not available this weekend. Bath and treat, a face mask, manicure, pedicure, Netflix marathon, and snacks, right? And that's another thing that you could put in here. So you could put your bingo there to remind you of self-care. And you can do, and then your vision things here. And then either your month ahead, right? Okay. Now let's move on to level 3. And level 3 is more towards the end of the planner. Okay, so again here, progress over perfection, transformation over information. These are really good mantras to have, especially if you're a perfectionist. Because what happens when we're perfectionists is we're unhappy with anything that we do, so we tend to get stuck more often than people who are not. We are so down on ourselves when things do not happen the way we want or sound the way we want. So having these things, just reminding you that yes, progress over perfection, transformation is more important than the information. So here's a little quick tracker you can do, just 1 through 31, which is the days, and then you have your month. So here it's only April, May, because this is a 2-month planner, okay? So here you can track your workouts. You can track, have a period tracker. You can track your water. You can track absolutely anything that you want. And all you do not put X's. X's, when you do an X, it's a negative. So all you want to do is make checks, because a check is like a yay. It's a positive. Okay, and again, progress over perfection. So even if you just have a few days, then you can compare it to May and then just go, oh, if I could just do 1 extra day than I did in May, then that's already a win. Then I want you to take a look at this. This is really cool. So what I want for this is, let's say it's more intense. It's for 1 month, okay? And you just continue the lines all the way down. This is great if you've got something like a health issue, okay? Let's say you get migraines often. Let's say you've just been diagnosed with diabetes. Let's say you're doing chemotherapy or any, I was trying to think of radiation treatments. So what you would do is you would take a look. So this is more about data. Because the more data you have, the more you can actually find solutions. So this is the Z's here. I don't know if you can see a little closer. Okay, so the Z's are sleep. So you would put how many hours that you slept. Water, did you hydrate that day, right? People tell us like, I don't drink enough. Like, in all honesty, I love my coffee. I will have tea. I will try to remember every morning to bring my water bottle with me. But in all honesty, I think I drink maybe 2 glasses, like 2 actual containers of water. But it's not my favorite, right? So water, did you eat well? So this is an apple. Did you eat well? Did you eat healthier, or was it chips? You know, did you take your medication? This is like a lightning bolt, and this can be your energy level, but it could also be your pain level. Okay, so if you happen to be tracking like your period pain, or you know, because maybe it's like you're worried that you have endometritis, or maybe it's like your migraines. What level is it? Is it a 6, a 7, a 10? By tracking it, you get to see during your month, okay, what levels are, and you can actually give this to your doctor to tell them, listen, this is how often I actually have it. And they actually respect people that actually track their information. This is your mood. Little smiley face. This is your mood, right? Your mood, maybe your energy level. And then the little heart is self-care. Did you do something to be kind to yourself? Okay, then you can give yourself a little bit of room. This is specifically for people who have been recently diagnosed with diabetes. Maybe you want to become like a detective, right? So you want to track, maybe this month you're tracking your breakfasts. So here in the notes, you could put what you're tracking, right? Let's say it's like eggs and bacon, and then you can put your sugar levels here. Why that's good is because eventually you'll be able to see what insulin you have to take before you eat that food. And then maybe you're tracking, you know, your sugar levels when you wake up before you go to bed. So really, so let's say 1 month you're tracking breakfast, another month you can track your lunches, another month you can track your suppers. And by doing that, you get to make better decisions. Okay, also other things that you can track outside of your sugar levels is, let's say you're undergoing radiation or anything else, like any treatments at a hospital. How's your body feeling, right? So let's say by tracking this, you can see that, oh, the days before radiation, you're actually hungry. The days after radiation, you barely want to eat, okay? So what that does when you're taking a look at this is say, oh, okay, maybe I need to eat more up to 72 hours before treatment, because I know for the 3 days after treatment, my body's going to feel very low energy. I'm not going to want to eat. And then another thing is, then you know that, oh, if I'm not eating, if this becomes a pattern, then I need to make the soups, right? So that you can have soups already in the freezer, ready made for whenever you just, like, not when you decide, for whenever you don't feel your best. Yes? Same thing with movement. If you feel very listless for a couple of days, regardless, migraines, whatever, same thing. You can do a bit more of a workout, more energy things days before, so that your body's still feeling great afterwards, right? Maybe you need to do some vitamins, whatever that is. By doing this and collecting data, you can actually create solutions. Yeah? Okay. So that is it for habit tracking. Super simple to data finding, right? This is you being a detective. I really, really love this. A lot of my clients who are going through medical things really have loved this, and so have their doctors. Another thing what you can do is habit tracking. So in here, in our dailies, there's a daily habit scorecard. But what you're scoring is your clarity, your productivity, your energy, your influence, your necessity, and your courage. And there's a lot going on the page. But what you can do is on your weekly, you can transfer, right, these, and then just go, okay, this week what I am tracking is I want my screen off by 10 and I want to close my book by 11. Okay, and then you can tick it off. right? Then the following week, you can put, oh, you know what? This week I need date night. I need to find a guardian. I need to do the reservations. I need to bring the attitude, and I need to shower. Right? And you can take this and put it in your partner's agenda. Just kidding. But what this means is just that you can change. You can opt in and change, right? And these stickers, I got it from the dollar store. Where is it? Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is what they look like. They're called sticky tabs. They were $2 at Dollarama. And you can just write on them with a like a Sharpie, and just take them off and create whatever you want. You can do a 30-day one. You can do no scrolling past 9, and you habit stack it with brushing your teeth. Really, anything that matters to you. Okay, this one here is habits that support me: focus hours, hydration, movement, and sleep. So basically, it's all about what habits do you want to have that week. Okay, maybe it's 30-second meditations. When you want to, add meditation to your habits, you can do just 30 seconds of breathing, and you start that as your meditation. You don't have to do an hour meditations, right? You can also do something where it's like your morning routine. Let's say you're starting a new morning routine. Water, for me, it's like water. As soon as I wake up, I do my gratitudes, then I do my water, I do my coffee and get dressed. I do dance smoothie. So like if I'm making my smoothie, I put on music and I dance while my smoothie is being made. And then I sit down and I do my morning manifesto. Okay. And if you don't have these, by all means, maybe you have a Post-it, right? And you can track your water, lunch by 1, screen off by 10. You make it work for you, right? These are also little Post-its, right? Like here, I've got a little Post-its that you can stick and unstick. And again, Dollar Tree. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Now, when it comes to productivity, and we're talking about advanced productivity, we're talking about quarterly goals. And one of the things here, I don't know if you can see, let me bring it a little closer. This would be the name of your quest. So I am in Ali Abdal's productivity lab. And one of the things when we do our quarterly goals is he calls them quests. So you can call it, like you can call your goal, it's like gamification. You can call your goal kind of like a Lord of the Rings quest. You could do Black Hawk Down. Anything that you happen to love in terms of like movies, anything that, gaming that you do, you just make it more fun. You make your quest more fun by calling it your goal as a quest or as an operation. Then under here, you put what it is. So let's say for me, it was like my Lord of the Rings quest, and it's coaching one-on-one amazing people. Okay, and why I would call it like Lord of the Rings is because I'm helping people go on their hero's journey. Okay, then over here we have star, which is what is the priority, sub points of other tasks that I need to also move this project forward. And then, hold on here. What makes me happy? Like how will I feel when this is done, basically? This little face is a meh. It's like a mid face. And this is what are the struggles that I can foresee? Okay, is there a struggle? Is there a challenge that I foresee in me executing these tasks? Okay, and again, tasks, but this is a priority. Then over here is what my little icon for best self. So Brendan talks about, showing up for your best self, even if it's 5 minutes a day, even if it's for one action. What is my best self going to do to make one of these things happen. And then this is like a wave. And this is what is my so-so, right? What is my so-so? What is my meh? What is when I'm not feeling great? How am I going to show up and do these, right? Because there are days you do not feel your best. Actually, many days. Maybe you didn't sleep. Maybe your kids were up all night. Maybe somebody got sick. Maybe got yelled at work. Whatever that happens to be, we're not at our best. If anything, we need to summon the best of who we are. And that's difficult sometimes. Okay, so this is, okay, let's say my best self, my most energetic self is not showing up today. What can my so-so self do towards these goals? Okay, then it's like, what is the date that I want to accomplish these by, approximate date, which is why I have this here, and I'll explain this in a second. And then what is the equipment, the skills, the money, and the who. So high performance trade time for money, okay, or money for time. And what they look at is who can mentor them, who can do it for them, who can they pay. And if you don't happen to have money to pay, let's say somebody to do like a PDF, let's say you have zero tech skills like me, zero tech, then I would be looking at who can I pay? And if I can't, who can I trade with, right? Maybe I can make supper for somebody who can do my, a one-page website. Yeah, I could say, listen, I will trade you, I will make you supper for Monday through Friday this week if you can just put up one page for me, right? So what are your skill sets that somebody else would want? Okay, and usually you just have to be a really good listener because people will tell you what their pain points are, and that's what you can trade. All right, so then when we're looking at dates, okay, so let's say you've got your 3 quests. So like, so let's say for me, it's my coaching, creating YouTube videos, and then maybe my website. Okay, then I would come over here and I would put this is the quarterly, right? This is my quarter. Let me come over here. I would put my appointments, first your doctor appointments, and then just list them here. I would do my birthdays, the birthdays that are this month. And because sometimes, like for us in May, we have maybe 10 people in our family that have May birthdays. So I know that when May comes, I'm not planning too much around, like work busy. It really like, yes, I'm busy at work, but I'm not planning events, right? Then it's like your project deadlines for work, your school assignments, team projects, that kind of thing. And if you happen to have like any course or webinar, or you're going on a business trip. And then so by seeing what's going on in your month, then you're able to say, okay, where can I fit in these goals? Right? So if it's a very busy month, maybe I'm just going to do one thing from here, maybe one thing from here, and I decide to delay working on my website, right? I'm like, okay, I will not have time in April, so let's delay this for May. And what that does for you is it removes overwhelm. By getting clear on your goals, you remove the overwhelm. Because what happens as humans, this is what usually happens. We get a thought, okay? We have a little thought. Oh, I would love to work on my website, okay? So then it's like, oh, I need to do my one-on-one coaching. Oh, I need to do this. And what happens is when we come back to this thought, it starts building. Noise starts building around each little point. And believe it or not, a simple brain, okay, a simple person has up to 5,000 thoughts a day. And a complicated brain, somebody can have up to 75 to 77,000 thoughts a day. And out of that, 90% of our thoughts are on repeat. right? So you can just imagine why at times in your life you feel overwhelmed. And as you eliminate each thought, that number goes down. Okay? So that's why working on your quarterly goals is for progress in your life. So even if you don't get everything done, the fact that you just got some of it done is phenomenal. Yes? And then so you would put it in. And then if one of the things can't be done in this quarter, then you just move it to the next quarter. Again, all about progress over perfection. Okay? We just want to move forward in your life without you feeling bad about yourself or putting yourself down. Now, bringing more joy. So if at the beginning, right? So I would definitely put this here. I would photocopy it and put it here as well. Why? Because as we're looking at our goals and at our life, right, at a glance, you get to see, okay, where are the opportunities for me to do my self-care, right? We're creating the time for your self-care, right? So you can take a look and say, oh, okay, well, in April, right, it's going to be a super busy month. I'm going to be away from work here. Our projects are due here. So this weekend is my only weekend home. So this is going to be my absolutely nothing weekend, right? That means you're doing absolutely nothing. You're just spending time with the kids, or you're getting ready for your packing, right? When you come back from that trip, then maybe it's, okay, I'm gonna do my bath and treat, right? And then if you missed your friends, then the following weekend you can do, I'll do a potluck supper with my friends, right? And since it's a potluck, it makes everything easier. And that's how you do, and then you write them down, right? You can obviously write them down in here, it just doesn't leave you much space. But by doing this, you get to actually create that self-care, right? And that by doing more self-care, you actually tap into your happiness. You actually feel the journey instead of waiting for that one thing that you think is going to bring you happiness, right? So that's it for the productivity mastery. Was there anything else? Let me see. Yes, there is a wellness strategy. So if you are a type of person that has anxiety, like panic, you show up someplace and you have a little bit of a panic sensation. I'm going to do another video on turning a bullet journal into productivity. I actually got challenged by a client to do that for her. And then in the notebook one, I'll explain how this works. Okay, because you can put it in any of your journals, but just for time's sakes for today, we're going to do this when we do the notebook. So by all means, take a look. Obviously, today is my first video, but I'll be doing more this week. And when you see the video for my notebook, go into, scroll through to the last thing for me to describe this. Wow, my words are... Okay. And then the last thing we're going to do today is you can take a look at the power of the prompts. Okay, so we have like 2 minutes left for me. So this was the first day I received this planner. Okay, and that was the 29th of May last year. And this was a very unique day for me because I'm so used to being really, really productive. But that morning I woke up and I was like, right, because I have the other planner. And so this morning I woke up and I'm like, okay, one thing I can get excited today about is, and I put starting this planner. If one word would describe the kind of person I want to be today, then that word is, and why I chose it. So for me, it made me really intentional. And it said, I said, I want to be present, right? Because we have a doctor appointment and I had to go to the cemetery. Okay, someone who needs me to be on my A game today, and that's my daughter. So the cemetery was like 1 year later. It was her actual birthday, and so we wanted to visit our cousin at the cemetery. And so, but what did I need to be on my A game for is because for my daughter, we needed to discuss results with her doctor. And that required me to be very present, not to have anxiety, to show any anxiety, to show anything on the outside, right? I didn't want to give her any of my anxiety. So a situation that might stress me out or trip me up today could be, and I like both, right? I could be very emotional in either one of them. And the way that my best self would deal with that is, well, for one, for the doctor appointment, I should think of it as information gathering. Regardless of what the results are, it should be, I'm thinking of myself as a detective, and it's like, okay, what is the information he's giving me, to be present for that, and to be able to say, okay, and what are the next best steps, right? Instead of like freezing up at the situation. Then number 2 is celebration of life. I should be grateful that she was here. I should be grateful that I get a chance to talk to her. I should be grateful to celebrate her life. Then someone I could surprise with a note, a gift, or sign of appreciation is tell my daughter I love and appreciate her. Right? Sometimes we aren't as appreciative of people around us, or we think they know, but they don't. Right? It's nice to be told that you are loved and that you are appreciated. One action I could take today to demonstrate excellence or real value is be present. Now again, these prompts are making me intentional, right? I didn't think of this. It's bringing me to really about being present. One bold action I could take today is commit to 21 days of filling this planner day and night, right? Because it's morning and evening. If I was a high performance coach, which I am, looking at my life from a high level, I would tell myself to remember that it's like that it's okay to have off hours, off days, right? Because what this made me do is clear my schedule. And I was like, whatever I get done this morning, great, but I am not, I called up one of my clients and just asked if we can just move the appointment to the following day. And she was absolutely without a problem. And just reset, okay? Then the big projects I have to keep in mind that I want to take on, even if I can't act towards them today, right? So this is really great because it's like, if I can't act towards them today, what are they? So it's tapping you into your future vision. So for me, last year is my YouTube channel. Guess what? We are March 31st today. And it's only today that I'm posting my first long form. I think this planner made me create my first short form. So I only did one and it was terrible, very cringy. But this is my first long form. So it's just to remind you that progress over perfection. One video, my website, one day for to do a little store, a journal, PDFs, stickers, that kind of thing. I would know that today was a great success if at the end of the day I did or felt these things. And so that made me feel like, okay, if I could connect with my daughter today on a real level, that is a success. That is what I'm considering today a success. Because when we're high achievers, when we're into productivity, we just think of how much work needs to be put out that day. Right? So this moved my mindset to connecting with my daughter is the most important thing. Then here's those persons I need to lead or connect with today and how to do it well. So for myself, I need to be a leader, right? The way I am showing up today, that is how I connect with myself today. The doctor, I need to connect with him on a real level so I can get results, correct? Daughter, I need to be a role model. I need to be listening to her, and I need to be appreciative of her presence. So now is when we go into the evening journal, because I literally have like 2 minutes. A moment that I really appreciate today was, so this shows you gratitude. Okay, a moment that I really appreciated today was, so for me, it's time with my daughter at the cemetery and talking to my cousin, wishing her a happy birthday. Yeah, a situation or task I handled well today. And I laughed at myself today. Why? Because I got her birthday wrong. It was the next day, right? And instead of beating myself up over it, I just had to laugh at myself. And, and I was talking to her. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so silly. Like, your birthday's tomorrow, right? Because you get to see it on the tombstone. I'm like, oh, so your first instinct is like, oh my God, what an idiot I am. But then you just laugh at yourself and you just go, oh, well, you know what? I'm just ahead of everybody else. So a situation or task I handled well today is all about courage and confidence. Something I realized or learned today was, and like Kelly's birthday is the 30th, not the 29th. And this one's like something that you realize is about growth and awareness. I could have made today even better. So that's all about tiny steps. And so I could have made today better if I ate well, because all I had was 2 coffees, 3 onion rings, and a 7-Up, right? So then I went, so as I wrote this, right? So this is at night. I'm like, okay. So then I went to my fridge and I got myself like a pita with cheese and mayo, okay? Number 5, something that could have helped me feel more connected to others today. And that's all about connection and experiences, right? Connection and creating experiences. Something that could have helped me more to connect was to call my aunt, okay? Which is Kelly's mom. So I did. I called her the next day. I didn't call her that day just because I'm naturally shy and I didn't know how to bring it up. But I did get my courage up and call her the following day. And have her laugh at me as well. Because, if I was my own high performance coach, I could tell myself this statement today. So this is about positive self-assessment without judgment. So this was like, good job. You probably weren't aware that going to the cemetery had an emotional toll and that you miss her. So I knew that there was going to be emotional toll. I didn't know it was going to be that much. And so when I wrote this, of course, the tears started pouring, right? Wow, even thinking about it now. Anyways, and then you miss her, right? And then I've brought it back to gratitude. And then we have your daily habit scorecard. So clarity. I knew my why and lived intentionally today. So actually, at the beginning of the day, I felt a little lost. So I would have graded myself a 2. But after filling this out, I realized it was more like an 8. And that 8 was because I was present and lived the day in peace. My productivity, right? At the beginning of the day, I would have said it was a 0 because I didn't get much work done. But at the end of the day, by realizing all of this, I realized I was a 10 because my productivity, what mattered most today was my family. Energy. I managed my mental and physical energy well. It's like that was a 6. Best thing I did that day was rest. Then influence. I guided or treated others well today. That was a 10. Right? Necessity. I felt it was necessary to be my best and made success a must. So that was at a 0. I just wanted to be present. Right? I have a difficult, like most people, to be necessary to be your best. I don't have a necessity to be best. I have a necessity to be better than good enough. And I made success a must. There are days, there are seasons in life where success is a must. I must finish this website. I must finish this course. I must finish. But there are other times where you're just living your day and you're living it with intention, right? And you're living with your calendar and with the things that you create, but it's not necessarily a must. So that's the only thing here. I just wanted to be present. Courage. I shared my real self thoughts and feelings today. That was a 8. Because I shared with Kelly how I felt, shared with the doctor how I felt. But it would have been really nice if I could have had maybe called up my sister and just, talked to her about how much I miss Kelly. And that might have been bringing this from an 8 to a 10, but I didn't want to bother her, right? Because her birthday was the next day and I didn't want to make her sad. So that is the power of these prompts. And every day my answers were different. And so today's message to myself was give yourself grace. So I hope you can see how powerful these are and how you would maybe answer them differently based on what you're going through on different days. And you don't have to do morning and evening. You could do a week and just do your morning mindset. You can bring this into your bedroom and just do your morning and evening journal. And then your day maybe is in a different planner. And you use this as a journaling journal. And instead of like dates, like the times, you could just journal your thoughts in here. All right, so there's lots of ways to use this planner. It's extremely valuable. I hope you enjoyed it. What's coming up? Okay, let's see. Okay, if you enjoyed, these are things that are coming up. So in this month, it was a high performance planner. We're the 31st. So what's coming next week is I'm going to try and do the Traveler's Bullet Journal. This one. Okay, so we're taking a lot of the ideas in here, popping it in there. The Dollar Notebook. And that 1-page anxiety wellness strategy. Maybe I'll do that as a separate video. Okay, so maybe you'll see that if you don't want to look at the bullet journal or the 1-page notebook. Then in April, we're going to go into emergency preparedness. Right now, there's a big thing in Europe where the EU is telling everybody to have at least 72 hours of food. Here in Canada and the US, we have FEMA, we have different agencies that have been telling this to us for a very long time, but they're just not shouting it. There's a web page, you could go on it. So 72 hours of food. I want to also go emergency preparedness in your car and to have a go bag. A go bag is excellent if you happen to live in a row house, if you live in an apartment building. What that is if you need to leave the area quickly, what happens is when we have emergencies, our minds freeze. So by having things ready, just to take and go, will simplify your life. And also, like, remember when I was talking to you about, whether you have 5,000 or 75,000 thoughts a day, just knowing that some of the things are already prepared also gives you a lot of peace. Then in May, we're going to do creating wealth, your mindset, your budget, your savings. In June, I'm thinking about energy, right? Because of summer, lots of good things. We're going to go into 6 areas of where you can improve your energy. In July, that will be about recharging, right? Self-care, recharge, and it's also the month that I take off, so I'll just do maybe one video here. August is controlling your time. So my very favorite planner is the Legend Planner Pro, just because it shows your week at a glance. And because I did this time, because I got challenged to do this one, I'm thinking of going from an A4 size, which is like 8 by 11, into something smaller. So we'll see. And then we're going to go into our Q3 goals. Maybe do a live where you and I get to discuss your goals. Okay, that should be fun. And then after that, we can do like a YouTube battle board, your vision board, a writer's Kanban board, what you would like to manifest. Maybe we'll do that then. What you would like to manifest by the end of the year. We can do like communication, courage, relationships, habits of the top 10%, fear. You'll let me know as we progress through these months. If you tell me the subjects that you'd like to talk about, I would love to like incorporate, because the only place I get to talk to you guys through is going to be the comment section, right? At least until we do the live. So, and what I'm all about is getting clear, re-engaging, to be productive, to increase our energy and increase our sense of aliveness, right? Brendan Burchard is the first one that brought up the sense of aliveness to me. And I was like, wow. Really finding that, right? It's one of our 4 core desires, is to feel a sense of aliveness and purpose. So that's what this is about. And for us to like reconnect with our happiness, basically. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you could, don't bother liking or subscribing. What I would love for you to do for me is in the comment section, tell me what was your favorite part. Was it, you know, the vision boards? Was it the self-care? Was it, you know, the idea of having habits on stickers, right? Was it the tracker? Was it the quarterly goals and how to implement it to be able to see how to fit it into your schedule, right? And then this one will be for a later one. So let me know what you're going to incorporate in your planner. So I'm wishing you the best day. Remember that you are amazing, even if nobody's saying it. You've got to say it to yourself. Love you guys. Talk to you soon. Bye for now.